closer to first place. Under lights the engines scream, this is more than just a dream. Through the asphalt like a beam, racers' hearts with fervor gleam. In this game we find our might, push the pedal like the night. With each lap our spirits flight, racing on with all our might. Trucks flying through the night, NASCAR dreams within our sight. Asphalt heroes in the fight, Peacemakers gaming life so bright. Revving it up, feel the pace, speed hounds in the race. Feel the thrill, feel the chase, victory is our holy place. Thrill the place, thrill the place. Throttle down, no time to waste. In this high octane haste, feel the thrill, feel the chase. Victory is our holy place. Throttle down, no time to waste. In this high octane haste, every corner, every taste leads us closer to first place. Throttle down, no time to waste. In this high octane haste, in this high octane haste, every corner, every taste leads us closer to first place. Under lights the engines scream, this is more than just a dream. Through the asphalt like a beam, racers' hearts with fervor gleam.
Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as we get ready to rock and roll. We get ready to set these drivers loose. 115 laps of racing action here this evening for the Michaels Warrior Project Truck Series, powered by the HCK Beagles here this evening. And Jason Leon, hopefully I'm saying it right. Jason coming in says, let's go Trench, hashtag Juke Joint here this evening, coming in showing the big love over there on YouTube. My boy Frank Ranger coming in as well over there on Twitch says, what's up Frank, how are you, brother? How you doing? Hopefully you're doing well. Hopefully you're good, you're feeling good. Hopefully everything's cleaned up for you from the hurricane as Helena just went through, and hopefully you're not in the path. Hopefully nobody in here is in the path of the next hurricane coming in. Hopefully everyone can avoid Hurricane Milton, as that thing is absolutely massive and it is going to create such devastation down there, man. It's absolutely awful, and hopefully everyone a part of the Peacemaker family and everyone that's in Florida and everything else, man, is going to be, evacuated and safe, man, as that's a scary thing that's happening out there, man. Hopefully everyone can avoid, being down there in Florida and being a part of that one. As Frank says, not yet, we may get tropical storms. Oh, brother, hopefully not. Hopefully you can avoid all the storms, all that crazy action. Is Dimitri coming in, showing the love. How are you, Dimitri? Dimitri says, let's go Trench, cheering on Trench out there on the Speedway. As Kevin Winker with the heart reaction here on the broadcast. Brad Finglin, my boy Brad, coming in as well with the like on the stream. How are you, old man? How are you, Brad? Hopefully you're having yourself a wonderful Tuesday afternoon as we get ready to play here this evening. These drivers get ready to be set loose here from the beautiful Nashville Super Speedway as they get lined up and get rolling out here onto the Speedway, starting on the pole in the number 5 ride. That is the HendrickCars.com machine. That is Nicholas Snyder. To his outside in the Sparkle and Shine number 2, that's Daniel Dow. Down on the inside row number 2 is the number 16. That is Nick Gardner. To his outside in the 18 is the Michaels Warrior Project ride of Jacob Grube. And then we see Kevin Winker Nation. They're in that 42 ride. Will start in that 5th position. To his outside in the 45, that's Chris Gilbert. Gilbert will start there in the 6th position, starting in position at number 7. In the 76, that is Jeremy Lucy. To his outside, there is the number 31 right there. It's the Friends for Pets, the Juke Joint. That is Trench himself, Robert McDonald, starting there in the 8th spot. Then we see Robert Blair and Brett Sommers rounding out our top 10 on the Speedway. Brian Chu, Nathaniel Ostrowiski, Ryan Peterson, Brandon Deming, Dennis Steele, Kyle Van Tassel, Austin Gustafson, Jonathan Herbert, Frank Ranger Jr., Sean Jensick, Michael Madden, and Neil Lapidus bringing up the rear of the field here in this one. As 22 drivers ready to go to battle here from the beautiful Nashville Super Speedway. 115 laps of racing action coming right at ya with the Michaels Warrior Project as we end all the anticipation with our feature presentation as we are quickly green flag racing here from Nashville. Out in front, Snyder will lead us out of quarter number 2, down the back straightaway into quarter number 3. The HendrickCars.com number 5 ride looking to lead lap number 1 as Daniel Dow there in tow, trying to hunt him down as Snyder will lead lap number 1 here on the evening. So Snyder out in front with Dow there in second, trying to hunt him down. Nick Gardner hanging on to third as Jacob Broom on his back bumper. Kevin Winker there in position number 5 on the speedway. Chris Gilbert there in 6 with Jeremy Lucy and Trench rounding out our top 8 here on the speedway is Robert Blair there in 9th and Brett Summers rounding out our top 10 as Summers already up a pair of spots early in this race. So is Nathaniel Osterwisky. The 28 to Dennis Steele up a couple spots as well as Brandon Deming. Ryan Peterson unfortunately down a couple spots now, down 3 spots, and there goes Austin Gustafson in that beautiful Mountain Dew number 9 ride, who will jump up into position number 15 here on the speedway. Herbert gonna go with them here is already Jonathan Herbert up 6 spots here as Ryan Peterson, his Orange Powersports KR Gutter's teammate, sliding backwards here down 4 spots early in this race. Their other teammate Kyle Van Tassel right there behind him is Sean Jensick, gonna make a pass-through penalty here. Unfortunate right there for that 29 ride as the Anything EC machine comes down pit road. So does a Michael Madden in the Sparkle and Shine Anything EC number 15. Frank Ranger will pick up that 19th spot on the speedway as Neil Lapidus, our boy Neil, unfortunately not out there on the speedway. The 26th ride still down pit side. It's Dimitri Curtis. Dimitri coming in with that share on the stream, and Friends for Pets coming in as well, showing the love with that share as we got a fight here at the front of the field. Daniel Dow looking to jump up and take this race lead away from Nicholas Snyder. Snyder down low. Down rolling that middle groove. Washes up to the outside lane. Gets a piece of the outside fence. Able to keep that car rolling, pointed in the right direction. They're going to drag race down into quarter number 3. The 5 ride drives it a little deeper. Center of the corner. Looks like the 2 ride finds a little bit more speed, but it's a drag race out of quarter number 4 back down to the start finish line. And it looks like the 5 ride of Nicholas Snyder able to hang on to the early race lead. But Daniel Dow on his outside trying to clear, trying to put himself at the front of the field, looking that it's pretty hard to pass here, but looks like down the back straightaway he's going to make it work. He's going to find that groove, and he will take this race lead away from Nicholas Snyder. So moves Snyder back to second, down now into the top spot here on the speedways down the front straightaway. He'll make it official as he's going to lead lap number 7 here on the evening. It's actually lap number 6 he's going to lead here tonight in this one, as man, already some great racing out here on the speedway. A little bit of passing, a little bit of battles out there, is even at the front of the field. Some great action as Nick Gardner right there ready to pounce. He's had Jacob Groove back there on his back bumper, so I think the 16 ride's been kind of nervous to want to jump up to the outside lane like we saw that 2 ride did, trying not to get freight trained, as we do see Kevin Winker in the 42 ride rolling there in that 5th position. The Burger Custom Homes Winker Nation 42 ride there in that 5th spot on the speedway is the 45 of Chris Gilbert right there behind him. Robert McDonald, the Friends for Pets, and number 31 ride as the Friends for Pets concert, the charity concert, coming up in a very, very short while. Here is the Juke Joint Friends for Pets ride October 18th, 19th, and 20th. If you guys are in the area of the Juke Joint, make sure you guys go check out the Friends for Pets for a good cause, and definitely show them some love over on Facebook and everywhere else. As man, oh man, oh man, Friends for Pets doing some great things, and we love to see it. We love to see Trench in that Juke Joint ride out there on the Speedway. Is Brett Summers there in the Boston Web Marketing number 7 ride, rolling in position number 8 on the Speedway, already up a few spots here in this race, up 4 positions early on, finds himself inside the top 10, trying to chase down our top 5 in single file there at the front of the field is Robert Blair right there. Behind him in our 9th spot, Jeremy Lucy, another one of those Ridge Powersports KR Gutters rides, rounding out our top 10 here on the Speedway. Nathaniel Ostrowiecki in the 41 machine, looking fresh out there on the Speedway, rolls right in front of the 51 machine of Brian Chu as they are back there in the 11th and 12th position. The Jordan, number 77, Brandon Domingue rolls in 13th with Dennis Steele on the Halvoline, 28 right there in the 14th spot. Austin Gustafson rounding out our top 15 here on the Speedway is Jonathan Herbert there in 16th. Ryan Peterson, Kyle Van Tassel, Frank Ranger Jr., Sean Jensick, Michael Madden, Neil Lapidus bringing up the rear of the field here as it looks like possibly starting parks here for the Jensick ride and the Madden ride here this evening. I do not see them back out there on the racetrack, so it looks like Sean Jensick and Michael Madden both started this race, rolled for a lap, took their rides down pit side, now off the Speedway. So tough break right there for both of those drivers. It's going to be odd not seeing them out there on the Speedway here for this rest of this feature event, but getting their start points and getting some extra points there and jumping out onto the Speedways. Back out in front, retaking this race lead, it is Nicholas Snyder at the front of the field. So Snyder leads the way with Daniel Dow there in position number 2. Nick Gardner back there in the 3rd position with Jacob Grube there in position number 4 and looking for more. Kevin Winker in position number 5 as he tries to work himself closer and closer to the front of the field. Not a whole lot of passing early on in this race. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I hope you guys are all having yourselves a wonderful Tuesday afternoon. Hopefully it's been some great racing and some great action here on the evening. We did an earlier stream, quite a couple hours there, doing some different content, having a little bit of a different YouTube idea, and kind of getting the footage that we needed for that while doing it live, having some fun, having some good conversations with the fellas over there in the YouTube channel, and just having ourselves a good day here at the Speedways. Snyder, Dow, Nick Gardner, 1, 2, and 3 here to finish off the evening, but we still got a lot of laps of racing left in front of us. As lap number 15 about to go up onto the board, meaning that we got 100 laps of racing action left here from the beautiful Nashville Super Speedway. As Francis Pence coming in, showing the love over there on YouTube, says, let's go Trench with the Panda and the Rock on. Yes, let's go. Let's go, Francis Pence coming in, showing the big love. And my boy Jason LePan coming in as well. Jason says, sucks to not be there tonight, but I'll be parked outside Road Atlanta at 5 a.m. for the Petit Le Mans this weekend. Go Grube, sent with love from Jason and John. Let's go, baby, let's go. I appreciate that. I appreciate you guys tuning in and showing the love from Road Atlanta here this evening and cheering these guys on, man, as that's going to be a lot of fun. And listen, we don't blame you. We don't blame you, man. 5 a.m. comes in a quick hurry, and being able to get there for the Petit Le Mans is going to be absolutely amazing weekend. So enjoy that. Enjoy your time there and have some fun. As Dimitri Curtis also coming in, showing the love over on YouTube as well. Not only over on Facebook, but also on YouTube. Says, let's go Trench. Cheering on Trench out there on the Speedway. As out in front, Trench hanging on, doing a good job, having a good run. The Francis Pence ride still rolling out here on the Speedway, just outside the top 10 now is Robert McDonald up into the outside fence. We spoke too soon. Oh no, we gave him too much credit, ladies and gentlemen. And as we were talking about the Francis Pence ride, Robert Blair, the announcer's curse, looks like he's going to run into some issues here. Already sliding back to that 10th position, then down into quarter one. Him in the 41 makes some contact hard up into the fence. There for Robert McDonald. Trench goes into that wall, heavy right front contact there for the 31. He's going to have to take that car down pit side and get some heavy repairs done here for that 31 machine, as in the 41 made contact. Unfortunately, Trench into the fence, and heavy damage there for himself. Now down pit road, looking to get that car repaired, as we do see Neil Lapidus, our boy Lapidus, out there on the Speedway. the OSOC Outdoors ride, jumping out onto the Speedway. Good to see Neil back in action. Neil, hopefully you're doing well, brother. Hopefully you're having yourself a wonderful day, and hopefully, you and the wife and the babies are doing well. I know you were expecting, I believe, twins coming up there a few weeks ago, so hopefully the whole fam jam is doing good, doing well, everyone healthy and happy and everything else. As Jason says, I'm the other Michael's Warrior car, right? Forgot about me already? I know who you are, brother. I know who you are. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. I don't forget. I know who you are. I know where you're going. I know what you're doing. I know how much fun you're going to have. We just got to put on a show for everybody else, Jason. Come on now. We got to make sure, got to keep people on their toes in the streams. All the fans in the stands, got to keep them a little bit on their toes out there. But he's definitely the driver of the number 20 ride out there on the Speedway. Normally out on the Speedway, identical paint schemes, identical cars as Mr. Groob out here on the Speedway. Normally identical paint schemes, just different colored rims. Usually rolls the yellow rims in his 20 ride as the Michael's Warrior Project number 20 ride out there. Of course, we didn't forget about you. How do you think I forget about you 1 week? 1 week, Jason. Come on now. You think I'm going to forget that quickly? Maybe like 2 months, 3 months, maybe I would start to forget. But even then, I don't forget. Don't forget, brother. It's locked in there. It's a steel trap up in here, okay? As out in front, it's Nicholas Snyder who leads the way. The HendrickCars.com ride is out in front. He was able to jump up, take that race lead back away from Tangled Dow after Dow. Jumped up and took it away from him there for a few laps, but it's been all HendrickCars.com ride since that point. He's been able to start to stretch out that lead over second now between himself and Jacob Groob. His group trying to hunt him down with Kevin Winker now into position number 3. As Dow slides back to 4th. Chris Gilbert up into the 5th position. Nick Gardner sliding back a few spots here as well in the Napa Auto Parts number 16 ride as he's back into that 6th position as Brad Summers there in the 7th spot with Robert Blair there in position number 8 as you do remember me. I'd be up front if I was up there. They're all lucky. Listen, I'm agree with you. Because we can't prove it, but I'll agree with you this time. If you were out there on the racetrack, you couldn't make statements like that. I want to, here and there, you got to back those words up. But here tonight, you're not out there to prove. No one can prove you wrong. That's the thing. No one can prove you wrong, Jason. No one can prove you wrong. So I got to agree with you. If you were here, they'd be shaking in their boots, brother. They'd be shaking in their boots. They would definitely see that other Michael's Warrior Project ride up towards the front of the field. I know you and Groob, man, continue to work together, continue to find speed, continue to have some great runs, man. Obviously, we've already seen Jason pick up a couple wins, Jacob pick up a couple wins here this season. I'm sure without a doubt, sometime this year we're going to see that 20 ride up in victory lane as well. I don't know if this would have been the night or not. No one can prove otherwise. But I'm sure without a doubt that when you come back, you're going to be a threat out there on the Speedway to be picking up some checkered flags here in the Michael's Warrior Project Truck Series powered by HCK Beagles, Ridge Powersports, Ranger Creative Concepts, and all of our other amazing sponsors here with the HCK Beagles. As Winker trying to hunt down that number 18 ride, trying to catch up to our second place driver, the Winker ride. Sporting a new looking paint scheme here this evening. Looking fresh out there, maybe a little bit of a Halloween kind of throwback paint scheme sort of deal on this 42 ride. Looking very spicy out there on the racetrack, and loving the orange and black kind of tones in that ride, as that's my Philadelphia Flyers. That's my team. We got to support the orange and black out there whenever it comes to anything here on Peacemaker Gaming. It's Chris Gilbert in the 45 ride, going to make the move around, dangle down, move down, back now to the 5th position, move Gilbert up into position number 4 and looking for more. As down slides back to 5th, he's got Nick Gardner back there behind him, Brent Sommers, who's able to make some early moves here, starting to slide back ever so slightly here himself, trying to hang on to the 7 ride, as unfortunately he's got that 75 Robert Blair working down to his inside here. This player looking to try to make the move and put himself back into the 7th spot on the Speedway. Move Brent Sommers back there to position number 8. Brandon Ming up 7 spots early in this race, as well as the 77 ride rolls there in the 9th position, as Jeremy Lucy right there behind him in position number 10. Ryan Chu there in 11th with Jonathan Herbert, who's up 10 spots since the start of this race. He's up into position number 12 here on the Speedway. A heck of a run, heck of a drive so far for Mr. Herbert out there on the racetrack, up 10 positions, finds himself now in position number 12. Nathaniel Ostrowiecki there in position number 13. Dennis Steele back there in 14th. Austin Gustafson, though, looking down low, trying to work this 9 ride, the Mountain Dew Napa Auto Parts machine, down to the inside of that 28 ride, trying to work himself into position number 14. He will make that pass, so move Steele back to the 15th spot as Ryan Peterson there in position number 16. Frank Ranger there in 17th. Kyle Van Tassel there in the 18th position, and unfortunately for the Friends for Pets fam in the chat, all the Juke Joint fans, unfortunately here, the 31, Robert McDonald, after contact with the 41 ride, then up into the outside fence in corner 1 and 2. We do see Robert McDonald down pit road for an extended period of time, going multiple laps down here, and unfortunately not rolling back out onto the speedway yet. Still getting that car repaired and hoping to get back out onto the racetrack. Just fell to the 20th position as Neil Lapidus, who unfortunately missed the start of this race, went multiple laps down himself, down pit side. He's back out there onto the racetrack, and he's been doing a pretty good job out in front here too. He's been out in front of our race leader Nicholas Snyder here for quite a few laps. I thought maybe Snyder would be able to catch him, make the move and get around him, but he's got a little bit of extra tire here, so that may be the big difference maker, and that just shows you, the difference maker there between the amount of laps that Lapidus is down and how many laps that the number 5 ride has already ran. That Lapidus can run, virtually the same, if not better, lap times than our race leader right now. It also shows you how strong Lapidus' ride is out there on the speedway. It just sucks that he's 12 laps down, but that means he also has 12 lap fresher tires, and the tires are a big thing here in this one, as Dimitri with the palm in the face emoji and says must be rusty after a couple weeks off. Laugh out loud. Yeah, maybe just a little rust. I don't know. I don't think it was really his fault, the contact. It was kind of just both drivers racing hard, and it kind of came together in the middle of corner number 1, and they just kind of shoved him up the speedway and into that outside fence. But we did see Brad Summers come down pit side, so the Boston Web marketing ride taking some more extreme measures here. We've seen him do this before. Be that first car down pit road, trying to early pit here, using these fresh tires to maybe leapfrog a lot of the drivers that are in front of him. We've seen it kind of work out before, but it's got to be the perfect strategy. If he can kind of pull this off a little later in the race, have that big lead, and be able to kind of really open up a gap between himself and the rest of the field, even though he'd be on older tires than everybody else, late in the race, he might have a big enough gap where he can hold them all off, and they won't have enough time to hunt him down. And if this race goes clean and green and no caution flags at all here on the evening, it really helps these drivers out with that strategy game. When to come down pit road first, when to maybe make that second pit stop. Do you have to make 2 pit stops? Do you have to make 3 pit stops? Can you make it maybe on 1 pit stop? We'll have to wait and find out here, as these drivers not yet coming down pit side. So the 5 ride of Nicholas Snyder has not come down pit road yet. Same with the rest of our race leaders. It was only that number 7 rider, Brett Summers, who made that call to come down pit road as early as he did. But now we do see the Ridge Powersports KR Gutters, number 13, the HC Cape Eagles machine of Kyle Van Tassel, headed down pit side. So here comes the 13 ride. Now here comes the 41 of Nathaniel Ostrowiecki. So some of these drivers starting to take that strategy, starting to put themselves down pit road and trying to see if they can work themselves, maybe around a few of their competitors, and leapfrogging them here on the speedway with those fresh tires. So we'll just have to wait and see how long and how much the difference is going to be here between the 7 run coming down pit side, the last 2 drivers coming down pit road, and where our race leaders decide to make this pit stop, and how this strategy may play out either in the early pit stop favor or maybe the late pit stop favor here. If these drivers can make it, on 1 pit stop on the evening, doing this two stop strategy, I don't know how well it's going to work for them. They may even be on a 3-stop strategy potentially, here in this race. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see who's going to be able to end up where, who's going to be able to have this bench strategy worked out at the end of the evening. And we won't know until whether or not a caution flag is thrown in and things kind of get balanced back out again, or until we see the checker flag fly here in this race. As Nicholas Snyder out in front, he's still stretching out that lead. He's been able to catch that number 26 right, and Neil Lapidus, and unfortunately put Lapidus another lap down there in the Osaka Outdoors number 26. So Lapidus goes another lap down out there on the Speedway, but here you go. More drivers, and some of them closer to the front of the field. Here comes our third place competitor, the 42 of Kevin Winker. Winker down pit side is Janelle coming in, showing the love, says, let's go Team HP Motorsports. Cheering on the HP Motorsports rides, all those Ridge Power Sports KR gutter machines out there on the Speedway, as Cody DeForge, Mr. DeForge coming in with the love here in this one, coming in with that like on the stream, the juke joint coming in with that heart reaction and the share as well. Friends for Pets with that heart reaction, Dimitri Curtis with the heart reaction over there on the Facebook broadcast. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you haven't already, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button. If you're new here, definitely make sure you hit that subscribe button, become part of the Peacemaker family, become part of the Peacemaker crew here this afternoon, as you do not want to miss any of the amazing racing action. Here you go, more drivers down pit road. Here comes Daniel Down, Brian Chu, Ryan Peterson. The 77 of Brandon Mink down pit road. Jonathan Herbert in the 87 also down pit side here. So a bunch of drivers headed down pit road. Here comes Jeremy Lucy in the 76. Here comes the 9 of Austin Gustafson as well. So more competitors making their way down pit road here, as the fuel strategy, the tire strategy, all this strategy for pit road is really coming into play. But this is one of the dangerous parts on the Speedway. These green flag pit stops, we've seen it time and time again. Drivers making mistakes down on pit road. That'd be speeding coming into the pits, or speeding coming out of the pits. You gotta be very, very careful. You gotta hit your marks, mind your P's and Q's, keep that car under pit road speed and not get one of those penalties. If you get a pit road speeding penalty, iRacing holds you in your pit box, sometimes for 30 seconds, sometimes for a minute, sometimes for a minute and a half. You never really know until they hand it out. I'm not sure if they base it off of speed or what it is, but if you get one of those penalties, even for 30 seconds, you're going a lap down instantly. That's a full lap out there on the Speedway. These drivers right now with the fresh tires are running 30-second lap times. So you're going a lap down if that happens, and you still got to make the pit stop and everything else, and it's definitely not what you want to do. It can definitely put you deeper and deeper into a hole on the day, or it can definitely take you out of competition and take you out of a potential race win here this evening, and that's exactly what Nicholas Snyder's looking to do. He's looking for a good clean pit stop here in just a little bit, but the 57 staying out there on the Speedway, not yet coming down pit road, as Jacob Groove rolls there in position number 2, Chris Gilbert there in third. All yet to come down pit side as Robert Blair there in position number 4, Nick Garner in that 5th spot here on the Speedway. Excuse me, sorry about that, chat. Dennis Steele coming down pit road, the Havoline 28 making his way down pit side. Here comes Frank Ranger Jr. in the Ranger Creative Concepts number 17. He's going to head down pit side as well, and going by him, you see the 7 ride. So fresher tires here on the 7 machine, fresher tires on the 31 ride, as well as we do see Mr. Trenchback out there onto the Speedway. So good to see Robert McDonald rejoin the field here. Can't roll him back on the racetrack as the crew has went to work, got that car repaired, and got him back out here to keep on battling here on the Speedway. As Frank Ranger still down pit side here. Ranger may have been one of those drivers to potentially get a pit road speeding penalty. You see this car has not left, has not made any moves. The crew maybe doing some repairs, I'm not 100% sure, but he may have ended up with one of those pit road speeding penalties, and this one may hurt the 17 ride pretty badly here this evening, as he's stuck down pit road, cannot roll back out onto the racetrack. In the Ranger Creative Designs ride, definitely not the place you want to be here this evening. You see the rest of the field there in the background steamrolling around the Speedway here, and that's going to put him multiple laps down here. So top break, there he goes, starting to roll back out onto the racetrack here that time. So starting to roll out there. Unfortunately, he is going to find himself a few laps down. As here comes Chris Gilbert down pit side. We all see Nick Gardner coming down pit road. Jacob Group rolling back out onto the racetrack. Same with our race leader, or what was our race leader, the 5 ride. Nicholas Snyder back out there onto the racetrack as well. Now, that early pit stop coming down pit side a little bit earlier than everybody else. I don't think he's come down pit side yet. I think he's yet to come down pit lane, ladies and gentlemen, so we'll still have to wait and see. I think he's just fallen off the pace. Nick Gardner also has not come down pit road here. Okay, yeah, there we go. So we have seen the 5 ride come down pit side a little farther back there, but he did come down pit road not too long ago. What did he? Showing Snyder now a lap down. Where do I see Snyder come down pit road? There it is. Okay, yeah, he did make a pit stop already. Here comes Nick Gardner. He is the last driver to come down pit lane here. I wish SDK would tell us the last lap pitted or something like that. I think that would be kind of neat if they could tell us that. I think that would be nice if we could see. Let me see if I can see that or not. Position, gain. Laps driven. Time differential, sector speed, pit stop count. Last pit stop lap. Ooh, there we go. I have this figured out, chat. Show that. Boom. Yeah, so Nicholas Snyder down pit road here. He's going to be one of the last drivers to come down pit side. We did see Nicholas Snyder come down pit road here on lap number 44. So lap 44, he came down pit road, and to give you a reference, Brett Summers came down pit side on lap number 31. So that's 13 laps difference here between tires, between our second place driver and our third place driver. And even 6 laps difference here between our race leader, Kevin Winker, and the number 57 of Nicholas Snyder. Now, Snyder is about 4 seconds back behind the 42 ride. We'll have to wait and see if he can catch up to him, maybe trying to make some moves around him before we see either the 42 come back down pit road or we see the tires start to balance out. Will the tires balance out? Will they kind of find that happy medium and see these drivers running more than likely the same lap times? But I kind of don't think we will, as Kevin Winker right now, one of the fastest cars out there on the Speedway, Jacob Grube as well, with some blazing hot lap times here on these fresh tires. So Jacob Grube has laid down a 29.91. So you're running virtually, you know, a 30-second lap time right on the dot, or pretty close to it for a lot of these drivers. That 30-second marker, as these tires continue to fall off and everything else. These guys are running 31-second lap times and then into the 32-second lap times before they will probably come down pit road. And where Brent Summers, who pitted on lap 31, he's already fallen down. He's running those 31-second lap times where, you know, the 18 ride that's out there, the 30 ride, and everyone else that's kind of come down pit side already that were quite a bit later than Mr. Snyder or Summers here. He's losing a lot of time to these guys, a ton of time in a quick hurry. Right now, it's a second and a half between him and Nicholas Snyder across the line. And you can watch how Snyder, how quickly he's going to catch up to the 7 ride, as he's rolling probably about half a second or better quicker than he is. So in a couple laps, he's going to be there. Down the back straightaway, it's already down to 9/10 of a second. So he's already cut off 3/10 of a second here on a half a lap. So down through corner number 3 and out at corner number 4, back down across the line. The 7 rider, Brent Summers, with those older tires, 13 laps older here on the tires this evening. On this pit strategy for Brent Summers, he ran a 31.23. Nicholas Snyder ran a 30.44. That is almost a second quicker on the racetrack than what Brett Summers was running. So unfortunately for Summers, he's got that 5 ride already in his rearview mirror. Coming in a quick hurry down into corner number 3, able to hold it down against that yellow line and make that pass out at corner number 4, getting quick and easy down and out of the way. And now Snyder will go after our race leader, Kevin Winker. Winker doing a great job though out in front. He's only given up about a second here on the Speedway. He's been laying down some pretty decent times himself, but still that 5 of Snyder is hunting him down, is drawing him in a little closer and a little closer and a little closer here throughout this race. So as we get closer and closer to that finish line, to that checkered flag, who's going to have the strategy here to potentially either put yourself far enough out in front that you can kind of put it on cruise control, save those tires, not have to worry about the tire wear, and have that gap between yourself and those other drivers trying to hunt you down? Or do we see a driver like Nicholas Snyder, Jacob Grube, Daniel Dow, who pits a little bit later here and then comes down pit side and has this tremendous amount of speed where they can try to roll up, catch you, pass you before we see that checkered flag fly? So there's a bunch of different strategies, a bunch of different things that these drivers are doing out there on the speedway to try to put themselves up and into victory lane here this evening. As we go down into the start-finish line here, we are going to see that halfway marker. So Kevin Winker halfway in and halfway through this race. We're going to jump into a quick Peacemaker Gaming Crank It Up. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, crank up that volume and cheer on your favorite drivers as we crank it up here on Peacemaker Gaming. Alrighty, give it up here for all these drivers. A beautiful crank it up session there and here on a beautiful, beautiful evening at Nashville Super Speedways. These drivers, they were able to crank it up here clean and green. We love to see it. No crank it up caution flag out there on the speedways. No caution flags at all here throughout the evening. These drivers doing a great job keeping us clean and green out there on the speedway. A lot of great, hard, respectful racing is right here. You see Brian Chu out there battling with the 26 ride, as right now that 26 and Neil Lapidus unfortunately finds himself quite a few laps down after missing the start of this race, but still putting on some good laps and having some fun out there on the speedway. And he's made an earlier pit stop here, well, later pit stop than that 51 ride, so he's got some fresher tires and a good truck out there. Looks like he could have had a great night here at the speedway in that 26 ride. Unfortunately missed the start of this race and unfortunately missed the first about 12 laps or so of this feature event, and unfortunately finds himself a lot of laps down out there on the racetrack, and no caution flags, no opportunities for him to gain any laps back. And now with more drivers falling a lap down, like Brett Summers, who's now a lap down, Nathaniel Osherwisky down a lap, Kyle Van Tassel, Frank Ranger, all a couple laps down here, unfortunately, has taken him out of that free pass position, that lucky dog spot out there on the speedway, which is currently being held by Brett Summers. So Summers is hoping to see a caution flag out there on the speedway. He wants to see that yellow flag and an opportunity for him to get back onto the lead lap, but at the same point in time, I think he's kind of rolling with a little bit of a different pitch strategy here as well, and I don't know, it's going to be interesting to see how the pitch strategy works out for him. If it really pays off, if it pays dividends, if it puts him into a position that he can find his way into victory lane here this evening, then it's all going to pay off for him. But it's a big risk to be one of those drivers to come down pit road early, put yourself a lap down, and waiting for all these other drivers to make their way down inside. You know, it could potentially put you into a bad spot if we see that caution flag fly. Right now, Brett Summers in that lucky dog position, but if another driver goes a lap down and stays in front of that 7 ride, then they could potentially take that free pass away from him and keep him kind of trapped back a lap down. So it's a little bit of a high risk, high reward situation, and if the strategy plays out for him, then it could play out perfectly. But right now, it's a duke here at the front of the field. It's a duke out between a couple of fence cats on the speedway. Nicholas Snyder leads the way here by 1.9 seconds between himself and Jacob Groove. Groove all there in position number 2 is Chris Gilbert back here in that 3rd position. Nick Gardner rolling there in position number 4. Then we do see Kevin Winker making his 2nd trip down pit side. We see Daniel down pit road. We saw Brandon Mink just make his pit stop, rolling back out onto the speedway here as some drivers starting to make those green flag pit stops. Other drivers kind of riding it out, seeing if they can take it a little bit longer. We'll have to wait and see how long they can take it. Only one driver was able to make it 48 laps here this evening in that first run. So even if you run another 48 laps, you're only running 96 laps here in this feature event, which means either a strategy call, 2-tire pit stop, maybe fuel only. What would be the call here potentially for a driver like Nick Gardner, or for the 45 rider Chris Gilbert, who came down a few laps later than our race leader Nicholas Snyder? How do they use their strategy to try to jump up here, gain some positions, and maybe put themselves into a position to pick up the win? As right now, drivers back here behind our race leader, Jacob Groove, he's about 2.2 seconds back now of Nicholas Snyder. Chris Gilbert, he's about 6.6 seconds back of our race leader, and then you see Nick Gardner, who's back about 10.6 seconds. So that's a big gap. That's a long time here of a difference. I'm not sure if there's a way that he can make that gap up down pit road. So he may have to use some other type of strategy to see if he can try to find that late race speed, maybe a little race magic, and try to put himself up here into the winner's circle. But I think it's going to be tough, man. Snyder's been just laying down great lap times, lap after lap after lap, continues to stretch out the gaps between himself and all these other competitors, where it may not be feasible, even with their pitch strategy, to keep this number 5 ride out of victory lane here this evening. Drivers like Jacob Jacob Groove, though, fairly close here in comparison. Only a couple seconds back. Could make some moves. Could make that strategy call to come down a couple laps early and put that pressure onto that fine ride and maybe see if he can leapfrog him here on the Speedway. We do see Chris Gilbert, our third place driver, now heading down pit side here. So Gilbert down pit road. We do see Ryan Peterson rolling back out onto the track after his second green flag pit stop. Same with his Ridge Powersports KR Gutters 87 of Jonathan Herbert. So lap 81, these drivers start to come down pit side, including Chris Gilbert. So it's going to be interesting to see where these drivers come down pit side. And oh, there's a caution flag, but nothing yet. Robert Blair trying to come down pit road, unfortunately getting sideways there on pit entry. And unfortunately for the Ridge Powersports, KR Gutters in the front right is going to go sideways there on the pit lane. No caution flag. We keep it clean and green as the 76 of Jeremy Lucy. His teammate's going to go right around him here on pit road. And he's probably going to be fairly happy with that one. At least he's going to be able to maybe make an extra pass. And now you see Robert Blair running into more issues here as he missed his pit box. Went a little too far. Had to throw that truck into reverse, back it up, and get it into the pit stall where the crew can go to work to it. So he's going to lose more time here again. You see that number 76 able to pull out in front of the 75 ride. And he's going to end up with probably a couple second lead advantage here between himself and his teammate Robert Blair. You can already see that difference on the Speedway, the gap between the two of these competitors, and that just shows you that you cannot make these mistakes down pit side. You make one of these mistakes, it can put you down a lap, it can hurt you, lose you a couple of spots out there on the Speedway in an instant. As we do see Nicholas Snyder still rolling out here on the Speedway. Now, one of those drivers that came down pit road first here on the evening, one of those first cars to come down pit side, it's the 7 rider, Brett Summers. Summers was also, again, the first car down pit side on the second wave of pit stops. He came down pit road 10 laps before. That's 42 right of Kevin Winker. Winker making this move around him could potentially be that fight for the race lead here. So it seems like Brett Summers on a little bit of a 3-stop strategy here. We'll have to wait and see if that's how he plays this out, as everyone else kind of rolling with maybe a 2-stop strategy, coming down pit road around lap, 38, lap 40, then coming back down around lap 80, means that they should be able to make it to that 115 marker, maybe even the 120 if we go into NASCAR overtime here in the Michaels Warrior Project Truck Series, powered by HCK Eagles and all of our other amazing sponsors. So Snyder out in front, he's going to have to kind of figure out a plan here. Either just keep running his race, keep running fast laps, and knowing that that's going to put him in front. But we do see a caution flag. This is a heartbreaker for a lot of these drivers. This is a big break to the strategy for a lot of these competitors, as our first caution flag of the day is going to fly. We'll take a look here and see what happened. Looked like potentially Robert McDonald running into some more issues here. The French for Pets, the juke joint number 31, potentially running into some issues here. It looks like he's going to get some redemption right there on the 41 ride. Oh boy, brand new Robert McDonald here this evening. So early in the race, we saw these two come together. The 41 and the 31 came together down in quarter 1 and 2. It sent the 31 right hard up into the outside fence, created quite a bit of damage for that number 31, the juke joint ride. The Friends for Pets machine had to come down pit side, so he took his car down pit road, got it repaired, but unfortunately went multiple laps down here, and now it looks like he's going to get a little payback here on that 41 ride. Tees him up and knocks him out of the park here with that one, as he's going to get right into him, spin him around. Unfortunately for him, he's going to get up into the fence himself. Some pretty good contact there for that 41 machine as well, and quite a bit of damage there for Nathaniel Ostrowiecki. Now, we do not condone that type of racing here on the Speedway, but you can just see, the fierceness, the competitiveness, the drive that each and every one of these drivers have out there on the Speedway, and how easy it is. Tempers the flare, and karma and everything else is unfortunately a tough one, and we don't make the admin calls. The admins will control all of that. We don't have to worry about that up here in the chat. We just calls it as we sees it as our race leaders. Sorry. Alrighty, as our race leaders have come down pit road here during this caution break. So we have 5 cars that are technically scored on the lead lap. Nicholas Snyder, our race leader at the time of the caution flag. Jacob Grube in the 18 ride was rolling there at second. The 16 of Nick Gardner, the 42 of Kevin Winker, and the 28 of Dennis Steele. We're all still on the lead lap, where all these other drivers like Brett Sommers. This is the first car, a lap, well, technically it was the second car, a lap down. I do believe either Kevin Winker or Dennis Steele got that free pass back onto the lead lap. I do believe Winker was that free pass driver, so he's going to be able to come down pit side like he is right now, get some work done to this car, maybe get that extra set of tires put onto it, and get ready for this restart. Where Brett Sommers, down a lap here, is going to have to take the wave around. Trying to get a lap back is going to get waved around. This pace car will not be able to come down pit side. So that huge strategy that they had kind of goes out the window here, as he's on 60, I don't even know what lap we're on now. Lap 90. So he's on like 22 lap old tires compared to all the top 5 that came down pit road. So our top 5 have about 20 plus better lap tires than this 7 ride, and roughly, 5, 6, 7, 10 laps better tires than the rest of these drivers as well. When you look back here, Daniel Down, last down pit sign on lap 78. Chris Gilbert, 82. Brandon Minks, 77. Brian Chu, 79. Austin Gustafson, 76. Nathaniel Ostrowiecki came down pit side around lap number 72. So these guys have a lot older tires on their rides. They're going to take the wave around. They're going to get their lap back, but they're going to be behind the ball. Unless we see a caution flag come right back out where they're able to come down pit side and put some fresh tires on themselves, their strategy may be over here in this one. This one's going to hurt them quite a bit, because now Snyder and all these other drivers are going to get ready to roll here. They're going to roll up to our pace car and get ready to go back to green flag racing. Ruth, Gardner, Dennis Steele, Kevin Winker, who is going to start back here a little farther. He was that free pass car, so he will start behind all of the lap down cars that did not take the wave around. So that's the 13 ride of Kyle Van Tassel, the 17 of Frank Ranger Jr., the 469 of Ryan Peterson. They did not get the wave around, so he has to start behind them. So he's got a few cars between himself and the rest of our top 5. Everyone else back here behind him will catch up. They'll get lined up single file behind the 42 right now. They'll get ready for this restart on a little bit older tires here this evening. So this is going to be a heartbreaker for a lot of these competitors as we get ready to go back to green flag racing here from Nashville Super Speedway. And it's down out of corner number 4. The pace car going to make that hard left-hand turn back down pit side. As door-to-door into the Geico restart zone. The 5 ride of Nicholas Snyder with a great jump right there in that 5 machine. Quickly launches down through the Geico restart zone, opens up a pretty sizable lead down here into quarter number 1 as he's looking to try to run away with this one here this evening. Nick Gardner trying to hang right there with him as Gardner now into position number 2. He's got a breath of fresh air into his lungs as he's got an opportunity to strike here. He's got an opportunity to see if he can battle for this race win. The tire strategy, everything kind of out the window. Fuel strategy out the window as well, as these drivers do not need to compete here for the tires. They do not need to compete for the fuel. At this point, there's no saving. There's no saving. It's give it everything you got. Try to get yourself into the race lead and try to run away with it. Try to pick up the win. And that's exactly what Nicholas Snyder's trying to do. But he's got a couple fast caps back there behind him. Nick Gardner, Jacob Grube right there, back in second and third as they see Grube all over the back bumper of that 16 machine, seeing if he can try to find a way back around Nick Gardner here in this one. Now that could be best case scenario for our race leader, Nicholas Snyder. If they start battling back there for second, it means that he can try to pull away from them and maybe open up a little bit of a gap. You see these drivers really starting to push their rights. They're not worried about tire wear. They can make it the rest of the way without having to come down pit side, and especially if we stay clean and green, then it's a battle between these 4 at the front of the field, plus the 42 of Kevin Winker. Winker getting himself through some of that slower traffic, the lap down cars, now finds himself here in that 5th position. position, and fifth car in line, but he's got a gap still to try to reel in the 28 of Dennis Steele for position number 4 and the rest of our race leaders. So he's got some work to do here in that 42. Daniel Dow in position number 6 here, was last down pit side on lap 78. So he's got about 11, 12 lap less tires than our race leaders, and right now all of our race leaders are running either inside a 30-second lap or right around that 30-second marker, where Daniel Dow with the older tires running a 30.4. So that's 0.4 of a second, 0.3 of a second slower than what our race leaders are running. Same with Chris Gilbert in this 45 run, the 77 of Brandon DeMay. Brian Chu, Brent Somers sliding backwards here as he's on the oldest tires out there on the racetrack. They're hoping for a caution flag. They're hoping to see one before the end of this race, and another possibility for them to come down pit side, put a fresh set of tires onto their cars, and try to battle here at the front of the field. Right now, Nicholas Snyder just looking to try to hold all these guys off, looking to try to put himself back into victory lane here in the Michaels Warrior Project HCK Beagles Truck Series here this evening. Is Gardner there in second, trying to hunt him down. Jacob Grube there in position number 3, and Dennis Steele there in position number 4, and looking for more here on the Speedway. As Rob says, fat finger, oh gosh, TBR, throttle hung. It happens, throttle hung, we get it, we understand it. Dimitri says, no holds barred. Good lord, he says. Yeah, Rob, hey, brother, it happens, my boy. Listen, I don't care, it's great for me. I love the content, I love it, it's hilarious. And I mean, I'm sure Nathaniel doesn't love it. I hate it for him, I hate it for you that it happened, but no, I don't make the calls, so it's no stress off my back. I don't have to hand out penalties or bitch at you guys for doing it or anything else, man. Controversy creates views for me up here in the broadcast booth. That's all that matters really to me, is you guys put on a good show, and hey, you know what? That caution flag, timely one, because we get to see a great show here at the front of the field. We were watching Nicholas Snyder run away with it. I wasn't sure if anybody was going to catch him or anyone was going to put any pressure to his back bumper, but now we do see Nick Gardner right there, still hanging with them. The 18 ride of Jacob Grube right there as well. Grube's actually been trying to get around this 16 ride. I'm not sure, he may even have a better car than our race leader, but he hasn't been able to make the pass here on the 16 machine of Nick Gardner. So I think if they get that opportunity, if he can get around the 16 ride, he may have something for our race leader. But, you know, Nick Gardner, he's a very smart driver out there as well. He's very calm, cool, and collected. He's going to make sure that when he makes his move, he's going to burn up those tires. He wants to make sure he times it perfectly here, making that move and putting himself maybe at the front of the field. So maybe waiting for a slip up, a mistake out of that 5 maybe just a great run that he has to take the opportunity to try to get around Nicholas Snyder here. We'll have to wait and see if that happens, when it happens, and if he can make that pass stick, and see if he can put himself at the front of the field, and then see if anyone can get back around the 16 ride, or the 18 ride, or the 28 of Dennis Steele, who's right there, or the 42 of Kevin Winker, who's now tracked these guys down and joined in at this fight here at the front of the field. It's our top 5 separated here with the rest of the field by now 3.5 seconds. Gilbert back here battling to the outside of Daniel Dow for position number 6. Gilbert is about 3.5 seconds back of our 5th place driver Kevin Winker, 4.5 seconds back of our race leader Nicholas Snyder. Unfortunately, he's also on older tires. He's on about 7 lap older tires here than our race leaders. So unfortunately for him, he's kind of hanging back here just a little bit. Can't run quite the lap times that our race leaders are laying down, and he's losing more and more time to them, especially as he battles door to door on his front strip of the field. Daniel Dow now slides back to position number 7. Then we see Brian Chu there in position number 8. Brandon DeMay there in 9th, and Robert Blair now rounding out our top 10 here on the Speedway. And Robert Blair and Jeremy Lucy came down pit road on lap number 83. They were able to get that wave around as well. They're back on the lead lap. They're in the 10th and 11th position. Now their tires aren't as bad as some of these other cats in front of them, so we'll have to wait and see how that plays out a little longer in this race, having that 5, 6, 7 lap better tires. We do see another caution flag here on the racetrack. Now this is what will really mix things up, as I do believe Jonathan Herbert in the 87 ride. Gonna go around here to bring out caution flag number 2 on the evening. He's battling hard here with the 26 and Neil Lapidus. Him and Lapidus gonna come together, and ooh, that's a bad one right there. I'm not sure if 87 kind of came up or the 26 came down, or if the 26 didn't see him there, or what might have happened between these two, but nonetheless, it's more like the 87 kind of coming up a little bit more towards that outside fence, trying to maybe draw tight to the 26. The 26 not right up against the wall. He's running a little bit of a lane below it. He comes down ever so slightly, but I don't think it was intentional here. I'm not sure if he even knew he was down there, but heavy contact right there, heavy damage for that 87 ride of Herbert. So we'll take a look here and jump on board with this number 26 and see what Lapidus sees from the cockpit. As unfortunate contact, unfortunate break there for both of these competitors, and unfortunately for our race leaders, that's going to put everyone that was on the lead lap now onto their strategy, and that's going to really balance out this field. Again, he doesn't even see this 87 ride until all of a sudden, bam, just kind of goes right up and over his nose. Nothing Neil can do out there on the speedway, and a tough break for both drivers. Heavy damage there for the 87 machine as the Rich Powersports line goes for a loop-de-loop. We'll get everybody stacked up, racked up, and ready to go as drivers roll back out onto the speedway. Ooh. Kevin Winker did not come down pit side. All right, this is a big strategy call here for Winker Nation. Now, I'm not sure if this is because Winker doesn't have an extra set of tires down behind pit wall. Maybe his hand was forced there with that caution flag. He came down pit road about 5 to 10 laps earlier, was able to put himself into that free pass position. When the caution flag came back out, he came down pit side, put that extra set of tires on, where everybody else and only used 2 sets. He had used 3 sets, so now everyone else behind him that's on the lead lap has now just put on their 3rd set of tires. He had already used them up, but I'm amazed he didn't come back down pit side and throw on those scuffs, those 10-lap, 8-lap tires, and run that scuff set of tires here near the finish of this race. But maybe he thought this would be the best choice. You know, have the track position, be at the front of the field. The tires are roughly around the same, maybe a few laps worse, so we'll have to wait and see if this plays out for Kevin Winker. But I think this is going to be a tall task with Nicholas Snyder, Nick Garner, Jacob Grube, Dennis Steele, and everyone else that was on the lead lap there back onto the same strategy and having these fresh tires back underneath of them. I think this is going to be a tough one for Winker here at the front of the field right now, but for how long can he stay there? So we're going to get a quick break in here. We're going to get a quick word in from our sponsors over at Ranger Creative Concepts.
I feel like I'm afraid to say how I feel tonight. I feel like I'm afraid to say how I feel, to know I let you down. 'Cause late nights turn to days, don't wanna let you down. With each breath we give away, it'll never be the same. I'm chasing somebody who won't ever ease the pain, but I don't want half of your heart. You can have it back if it's only half of your heart. If it's only half of your heart.
Alrighty, huge shout out there to our sponsors over at Ranger Creative Concepts coming on board here with us for the Michaels Warrior Project HCK Beagles Truck Series here this year. huge shout out to Frank Ranger Jr. not only being a part of the series as a sponsor, but also part of the series as a driver as well. Huge shout out there to the number 17 as that Ranger Creative Concepts ride looking great out there on the Speedway. Unfortunately finds himself back there in the 18th position as we get ready to go back to green flag racing. Older tires here for Kevin Winker. New tires all around him. As down through the Geico restart zone, he's going to get a good launch and a good drive right here. We'll have to wait and see how long these fresh tires can hold on. As he's going to slide up the racetrack, puts a little bit of a block on the 5 ride. Snyder's going to make it 3 wide here in the front of the field. Thinks better of it out at corner number 2. Rolls into the throttle as they go 3 wide down through 1 and 2. And now we get a new race leader with only 6 laps left here this evening. Winker trying to hold on to the top spot is down across the line. We will see 5 more laps left to go. Here come some of those other drivers with those fresh tires as there goes the 18 of Jacob Group around the 42 of Kevin Winker. Winker, a little bit of a sit and duck here with the older tires. Everyone else 16 lap fresher tires on their rides. Then this number 42 as out in front, Nick Gardner leads the way and got himself quite a bit of a gap down between himself and the 5 ride of Nicholas Snyder is right there. Kevin Winker was his best friend on this restart, and that really helped that 16 ride jump into the race lead. As the 42 went up the racetrack, kind of locked that 5 ride on entry, and the 16 was able to get a good run down low. Then drag brakes down through 3 and corner 1 and 2, 3 wide by the 16. Kind of able to pull away as the 5 and the 42 both kind of roll out of the throttle as they are at risk there. 3 wide coming out of corner number 2, getting up into that outside fence and ruining their night completely. So that really held this 5 ride back and allowed the 16 and Nick Gardner to jump up here and take this race lead away. So for the first time this evening, we see, second time this evening, a pass for the race lead. We saw Daniel Dow early in this race make his way around that number 5 ride for the race lead. Give it back though a few laps later, but you do see this 2 ride working himself back into position number 4, but a good gap now between himself and our top 3. As Nick Gardner leads the way down across the line here at Nashville Super Speedway. Only 2 more laps left to go. He gets the twin sticks. The peace sign from our flagman here this evening. 2 more laps left here on the night. Our penultimate lap out here on the Speedway as the 5 ride of Nicholas Snyder trying to hunt down Nick Gardner. Trying to get this race lead back away as Gardner down through corner number 3. Nice and easy out of corner number 4. That's going to put our penultimate lap away, and we'll see that white flag fly one more time here for Nick Gardner to get it done. A late race pass for the lead, a late race restart. The opportunity arose in the 16, and Nick Gardner jumped all over it, and he's down the back straightaway here, looking to try to put himself into victory lane. Is down into corner number 3. One more set of corners is out at corner number 4 for the final time here this evening. Snyder can't get there as Nick Gardner will pick up the checkered flag here this evening from Nashville Super Speedway. The Napa Auto Parts number 16 ride will pull himself up here into victory lane as he picks up the win here in the Michaels Warrior Project HCK Beagles Truck Series from the beautiful Nashville Super Speedway. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up here for our race winner, Nick Gardner. Gardner getting it done and pulling himself into victory lane. He's going to get ready to burn down the house here on the front straightaway, and we'll get ready to pull him up here for his post-race interview. Alrighty, here goes the donuts on the racetrack against the 16 ride of Nick Gardner. Picks up the win. He's going to pull himself into victory lane here in just a little bit, but celebrating here on the front straightaway after a big win here in the HCK Beagles Truck Series, man, as this is a big run and a big momentum booster for this 16 ride. After another big win, we saw him get one at the beautiful Richmond Raceway, and then we see him get one here at Nashville as well. So a couple wins, and now into the books here for Nick Gardner. I'm sure he's going to be pretty psyched about this one. I don't think Nicholas Snyder is going to be very happy about it, as Kevin Winker on those older tires unfortunately fell all the way back to position number 12 on the racetrack here. And I'm sure, I don't know, I feel like Nick Gardner owes owes Kevin Winker a beer here after this one. After that restart, I think Winker is owed a beer here after that restart for certain. Here this evening is Todd Leonard. Todd coming in, dropping that follow on the stream. Todd, welcome to the Peacemaker family. Welcome to the Peacemaker crew. Smashing that follow button is, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button, as we'll get ready to pull our race winner, Nick Gardner, up here into victory lane as he is burning down the house. He is celebrating here at Nashville Super Speedway, the Music City, and listen to that bad boy saying out there on the Speedway. Yo, Chad Stewart! What in the world? Mr. Stewart coming in and setting it off. The big D of the day. Chad coming in with the 500 mother fluffing stars. Are you kidding me, Chad? Are you kidding me, brother? Coming and setting it off here in this one. I appreciate that, my boy. Coming in, showing the big love here this evening with the 500-star dono. The big D of the day right there. My gosh, coming in, showing the big love, brother. I appreciate that. Winker says wrong end of the deal. Laugh out loud. Yeah, unfortunate, Winker. Unfortunately, brother. That last caution flag, it was just the worst case scenario for you. Obviously, already coming down pit side, using that third set of tires up, and not having that extra set behind pit wall. You had one strategy call. It was either, stay out on the racetrack, hope to try to hold these guys off, or it was come down pit side and put on, 12 lap, 13 lap scuffs, which were probably no better than what you had, and you would have no track position as well, so you were kind of stuck there between a rock and a hard place. Here you go. You get to see this number 16 ride of Nick Gardner do this Polish victory lap. The Alan Kowicki throwback here in this one, man. Rest in peace, Alan Kowicki. The Alan Kowicki tribute Polish victory lap here at Nashville Super Speedway. We love to see these. We love to see Gardner be able to pull these off, and especially in that beautiful Napa Auto Parts number 16 Chevrolet out there on the Speedway. As we'll get ready to pull Nick up here into the broadcast booth, as he'll get ready to pull this car up and into victory lane. Let's see if we can get him up here right now, as he's still burning down the house. He's still pumped up, picking up this win here this evening, man. He is absolutely psyched on getting this win here this evening, as where in the heck? There we go. We're waiting for these guys to jump into the podium finishers waiting room here. We'll have to wait and see if I can find Nick or not. There's Nick. Let's pull Nick in. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to pull Nick Gardner into the broadcast booth here for his post-race interview. Hey, Nick, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker broadcasting booth. Do you copy?
I got you, man.
Nick, man, what a run, what a race for you. Take us back through this one. Is obviously a lot of green flag laps here early on in this race. A couple green flag pit stops and a lot of different strategy calls here. Kind of going astray late in this race. Obviously, we saw that first caution flag come out, around that lap 70-ish area. Then we see another one fly here late in this race, and really open up the door here for you guys to make some different calls, different strategies here. You're able to come down pit side again, put that third set of tires onto the 16 machine, and all of a sudden you roll back out onto the racetrack in that third spot, as Kevin Winker stays out on the racetrack. He was kind of stuck in a rock and a hard place right there, had no fresh tires behind pit wall, so stays out onto the racetrack, and now you got a golden opportunity to try to make something happen here on that restart, and you took pure advantage of it. You get underneath that 42 of Winker. He launches up the racetrack. You see Nicholas Snyder right there trying to go 3 wide, but had to roll out of the throttle to avoid contact between himself and Winker, and that allows you to clear him out of corner number 2 and drive home to the victory here at Nashville Super Speedway. Man, take us back through it and what's going through your mind right now after being able to pick up the win here this evening.
Yeah, man. I'll be honest with you. I'm really, really surprised that race worked out the way it did for me. My strategy on the green flag runs, I thought maybe I'd probably get back to at least a top 5 finish. I knew Nick and Jacob, and they were on their own strategy. I believe Winker was in there in the mix too. So, yeah, man, I just figured I got nothing to lose, so I figured I'd just go long in my runs and yeah, just bided my time. I was probably about 3 to 4 laps from pitting under green, and yeah, that caution came out, man, and most of the guys were a lap down, so I came down, took tires. I still had 2 sets left, so I used one of them and hung out there. Me and the 18 were battling pretty hard, and the 5. I mean, man, it was a heck of a battle. I mean, my goodness, it was a crazy battle. I didn't think that was gonna go my way. When that other caution came out, I wasn't sure if I was gonna pit, but I'm like, well, tires are so important, and especially I really want the grip up off the corner, so I followed the leaders down pit road, got the last set, and I knew Winker stayed out. I knew he used his last set, so he was just trying to hang on and get the best finish that he could. So I was a little nervous about starting behind him with him on older tires. So I kind of just try to time the restart right. Honestly, I feel like restarting on the high side, or on the outside P2 is a little tough, because it's all about listening to the engine and when the leader goes, because you don't want to beat them. So I thought I was a pretty good spot being right behind the leader. Followed him into one, and I was a little nervous what was going to happen, so I kind of rolled out the throttle a little bit, seeing what was going to happen, and I feel like Kevin just was just doing what he could and not be in the way, and kind of just move out of the way for the leaders. And I saw the 57 right above me, and I knew it was going to be a heck of a battle. So once Kevin fell back and the 57 kind of caught me, the race was on for there. So I mean, man, I was racing the racetrack as fast as I could. I hit my fastest lap, I think, with 3 to go of the race, because man, I was just trying to stay ahead of him. I knew Nick was the fastest car tonight. By no means. I mean, lights out. So got to give him credit and how fast he was and how good he was tonight. But I'm thankful for how he raced me tonight, and how he's always raced me. I've never had a problem with Nick. I respect the hell out of him, and but yeah, you gotta take him when you can, and this one's pretty cool.
Absolutely, definitely a pretty cool way to pick up a win here this evening, man, after a great battle. And as you said, you guys were battling out there before that final caution flag, and you were trying to battle there, but you were able to get that good jump, that good launch in the right lane here in this final restart to put yourself out in front. And then it seemed like if you guys were on the same tires, and at least for the longest time, maybe for the first 5 to 10 laps out there on the speedway, it seemed like everyone was fairly balanced. Everyone was right around the same speed, and it was very tough to even make a pass happen. So if the 5 right could have got to you, I don't think he was going to be able to really find a way to get around you, especially on the outside here at Nashville. So you were sitting in the catbird seat, just had to make sure you hit your marks, didn't make any mistakes, and able to bring this 16 ride home into victory lane. And that's exactly what you did, is you park it up here in the Nashville Super Speedway victory lane here this evening. Would you like to thank Nick for such a great run and strong performance out there on the racetrack?
Yeah, man, just appreciate HCK Beagles for everything they do in this league. I know Gregory's not here; he's dealing with a lot of the hurricane stuff, but I I appreciate him and what he's done for the league, even if he's not able to make it and help us out tonight. But appreciate him and Kevin. I know all those guys. They said they were going to make big changes to this league and make it better, and by golly, they did. It's been a fun season so far. And you saw it tonight. A lot of green flag runs, only 2 cautions. I think that's the kind of racing that we need week in and week out, and I think it's exciting for the viewers and the fans and different strategies and. So I appreciate them. I appreciate them really digging deep and finding some good racers to add to this league. And so I appreciate them. I appreciate the wife for letting me get on here and race. Obviously, if it wasn't for her allowing me to get on here, then I wouldn't be able to get on here. So, so I appreciate her and appreciate you, man, for doing the broadcast. I'm sure you get tired of hearing it, but you do a tremendous job up in the booth, man, and I appreciate you taking the time out week in and week out to broadcast our league. And the last shout out I give is to my teammates Austin and Brett and Dennis and Nate. They're great teammates. It's fun to come on here and race with them and work together, and I love racing with them each week in and week out.
Absolutely, brother. Always some great racing. Always a lot of great fun out there on the Speedway, and it was some of the same here once again this evening, man. It was a lot of fun watching you guys duke it out here all evening long, and it was a lot of fun watching you burn down the house and do that Alan Kowicki tribute Polish victory lap here this evening as you park your 16 right up here in Victory Lane. Nick, congratulations, and we can't wait to see you back out there on the racetrack next Tuesday.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Just a shout out to also just want to shout out to all the people in Asheville, North Carolina. I know that's only 2 hours for me, but shout out to them, and thoughts and prayers are with them, and try to give all I can, and everyone else in the area is trying to give all they can. So shout out to them, and also thoughts and prayers with the other hurricane about to hit Florida. So just want to give them a shout out and let them know that I'm sure not only myself but everyone listening and viewing and racing is thinking about everyone.
Absolutely, brother. We're all thinking of everyone that's already been affected by Hurricane Helene and now Hurricane Milton coming through, man, and it's looking bigger and badder. And
Yeah.
Anybody that's in that Tampa region, get out. Get out is all I can basically tell you, or find some very high shelter and a safe place to be, and make sure that you're safe, man, as that thing's coming in with massive force. And from what I've heard and everything else, and some of the news reports that I've watched, is that it's going to make landfall probably sometime tomorrow afternoon. So make sure you guys are either away from it or you're in a very safe and secure place, that you got all the food and shelter and everything else that you need for what could be quite a while, especially if you're right in that Tampa area. I was saying it earlier on the stream that I did earlier in the evening. If you got internet and stuff like that, there's a guy over on YouTube. I love watching his content. Does a great job watching all of the stream, like all of the hurricane stuff, all the storm stuff, and everything else. And I do believe it's Ryan Hall Y'all over on YouTube. They do some great coverage over there on all the storms, and they'll keep everyone updated for every area where that's being affected by the hurricane and everything else. So go check him out and see, some of the updates that he can give you and everything else over there on YouTube.
Yeah, I love that. That's great. Great information. I'll definitely have to check them out myself, man.
Absolutely, Nick. Well, congratulations on the win, brother. Congratulations on a great run. We can't wait to see you back in here tomorrow night.
Sounds good, buddy. Thank you.
Night. Nah, in a couple week from now.
Yeah.
Week from
Yeah,
now.
man. Sounds good, man.
Have a good night. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, giving up there for our race winner, Nick Gardner. Nick Gardner coming home here with the win. Listen, I'm going to give you guys that information for Ryan Hall right now over there on YouTube. He does some great content with this. He's normally always live. I think they're taking a little bit of a break right now, knowing that they're going to be live all day tomorrow, man. They're going to be giving you constant updates all day long. Does a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful job on all this weather information. Let me get his information for you here. Let me get his YouTube, so that way you guys can go there, you can watch, you can see all the information that they're giving to everybody to make sure that you guys are safe and sound. If you're in an area that's gonna be getting warnings or anything else, he's really good at being able to give you guys huge updates on when stuff is gonna happen. Is Jason LePan says great job, Nick. Yeah, great run, great job right there by Mr. Nick Gardner. Let me drop Ryan's YouTube channel there into the stream. And I'm going to put it into every one of them. If you guys are in those areas, Tampa, Florida, anywhere that's near this, definitely check him out. Definitely give him a watch. And gets lots of great information here on the hurricanes and all the storms, tornadoes, everything else, man. He does a fantastic job basically storm watching, but they got people on the ground, they got people that are in the proper equipment and stuff like that that are going and watching this stuff and setting up cameras in different areas where these hurricanes and stuff are going to be coming through, so they can track this thing as it goes through each and every single step of the way of these hurricanes or the tornadoes or anything else. And these guys do a great job at it. So check him out and make sure you guys stay safe, as we don't want to have anyone in the Peacemaker family or anyone in general, have issues or die or anything else. As so we know already, Hurricane Helena, like, way too many people unfortunately perished there in that one. And our hearts and prayers go out by everyone that was affected by that one, and for everyone that's in this one, we're hoping for the best and praying for everyone. As we're going to get ready, we're going to pull in our second place finisher here, Nick Gardner. Gardner coming home in position number 2. We're going to pull Nicholas into the Discord here for his post-race interview. Now, I don't actually see Nick in here. I don't know if that's Nathan Nixon or if that's Nicholas Snyder. So I don't see Mr. Snyder in the Discord right now in the podium finishers waiting area. So we are going to pull in our third place finisher here, Jacob Grube. Grube coming home in position number 3. Let's pull Jacob Grube up into the broadcast booth. Hey Jacob, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker broadcasting booth. To get a copy?
Hey Aaron, I got you.
Jacob, man, a great run and a great race here for you all night long, man. A lot of different strategy, a lot of good hard racing, and you're right there in the thick of things here, right down to the checkered flag. Unfortunately, just need that little extra bit here late in this race, and maybe a little bit of a, bit extra pitch strategy, or what did you need here late in this one to maybe put yourself a couple spots better and into victory lane?
Yeah, thanks, Aaron. Yeah, I'll be honest. It wasn't a very exciting race. It seemed the racetrack is kind of just a one groove kind of track. So we just kind of got in line and went and saw, who had better tires at the end. And it was, Nick Snyder was doing a great job of just running a very consistent line and saving his tires. So I knew I didn't have anything for him. The restart worked out. I just came out third, but it's a good finish. Just looking forward to move on to next week.
Absolutely, still a pretty solid finish, a pretty decent points afternoon for yourself here. As those points so valuable, and being able to come home with another podium finish is gonna feel pretty dang good. And as you said, this is a tough racetrack, man. Not a whole lot of passing opportunities. A little bit more of follow the leader, or really just a whole lot of tire saving and strategy that kind of came into play here this evening. And obviously we saw that late race caution flag kind of broke that strategy up for everybody except for the 42 of Kevin Winker. But your strategy all night long gave you that good golden opportunity here on the evening to come home with that third place finish after we see the first caution flag kind of come out. It kind of traps a few of those drivers a lap down back there. They have to take the wave around, really able to give you guys a little bit of breathing room, knowing that those guys were back there. They weren't going to catch you, and it was kind of down to the top 5 there for quite a while. You, Nick Snyder, Nick Gardner, the 28 ride of Dennis Steele, and that 42 of Kevin Winker before that final caution flag came out and brought everyone back to even playing field there on those closing laps.
Yeah, I sure didn't want to see that caution come out. I was going to be happy with my second place because I said, didn't have anything for Nick Snyder and his speed. So, yeah, I didn't want to see that caution come out, and I knew I was gonna have to fight for it, and it did. And but yeah, come home third. So
That's still not a bad day for you, Jacob. Who would you like to thank for such a great run and great drive here this evening in that 18 machine?
hey, well, I just want to thank all the sponsors of and you for the broadcast, and especially Michael Warrior Project. Give a huge shout out to my boys who are headed down from Connecticut all the way down to Georgia. They drove today, getting ready for this IMSA championship here at Road Atlanta, and we're gonna start camping tomorrow night. So
Heck yeah, brother. I mean, I saw Jason was in the stream earlier. He wasn't racing, but he was cheering you guys on and hoping for a good finish, and I'm sure he's pretty happy about it. And I know I do see him over there right now in the Discord as well, so I don't know if he's just staying up a little late listening in to all the combos there in the general chat, but you know, he was here. He was saying that he's going there to watch the racing there at Road Atlanta and looking to have some fun for the weekend, and I'm sure you guys are going to have a good time. So have fun out there, man. Have a good time, and enjoy some awesome in real life racing.
all right, thanks, Aaron. Have a good night.
Absolutely, you as well, brother. And congratulations again on the third place run. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our third place finisher, Jacob Grube. His group coming home there in position number 3. A great run and a great drive there for our third place finisher. Now, Nick Snyder still not in the waiting room here for us, and I don't know which end he is in there. So many end drive. I'm not sure if that's Nathaniel Ostrowiski or who that may be in the Discord. I don't want to just pull them in, or if it's somebody else that could be in there. I'm not sure if that is Nicholas Snyder or not, so I don't want to just pull him in. So unfortunately, we're just gonna give a shout out there to the 57 rider Nicholas Snyder. I'm sure he was pretty happy about how the way this evening was going, how everything was kind of rolling out there on the racetrack, and you know, he was taking it pretty easy, had that strategy worked out, but had a very, very fast race truck all night long, and I'm sure he's probably not very happy, probably quite gutted not being able to take this one all the way to the end and pick up the checkered flag here this evening after having what I would call a dominant run here all night long. That late race restart then allowed Nick Garner to get around him, and unfortunately he wasn't able to get back to the back bumper of Nicholas Gardner, and Nick Snyder had to settle in here for a second place run on a night where he was bound to maybe potentially find victory lane himself. So I'm sure he's not going to be super happy about it, but he's probably still pretty happy about the solid second place run. So huge shout out there to our second place driver here this evening, the number 5 ride, the HendrickCars.com machine of Nicholas Snyder. Snyder comes home in position number 2. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for us here this evening. We're going to call it there on that note, but I can't thank you guys enough for tuning in and showing the love here all evening long. Everyone coming in with the likes, the comments, the shares, man. I appreciate each and every single one of you. And if you haven't already, it's not too late. Make sure you guys do that for us right now. Hit the like button, hit the share button, hit that follow and subscribe button, and I will see you guys back in here tomorrow evening for some more racing action, as we got the mini stocks, the Bulletproof Mini Stock Association, tomorrow afternoon at 7 Eastern Time. They'll kick off for their racing action at Williams Grove Speedway, and then we hand it to, I do believe, Talladega with the Slingshot Sim Racing Series to follow that around 9 o'clock Eastern Time tomorrow night. So back-to-back races tomorrow evening. A lot of great action, a lot of fun times, and we can't wait to see you guys in here and in the broadcast booth. But thank y'all for tuning in, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace out for now, baby. Peace out for now, ladies and gentlemen.
Like the night we goes on the track, roaring engines never slack, racing hard, no looking back, on for victory's knack. Trucks flying through the night, NASCAR dreams within our sight, asphalt heroes in the fight, Peacemakers gaming light so bright. Revving it up, feel the pace, speed hounds in the race, feel the thrill, feel the NASCAR dreams within our sight. Asphalt heroes in the fight. Peacemakers gaming life so bright. Rev it up, feel the pace. Speed hounds in the race. Feel the thrill, feel the chase. Victory is our holy place. Thrill the place. Thrill the place. Throttle down, no time to waste. In this high octane haste. Feel the thrill, feel the chase. Victory is our holy place. Throttle down, no time to waste. In this high octane haste. Every corner, every taste leads us closer to first place. Throttle down, no time to waste. In this high octane haste. In this high octane haste. Every corner, every taste leads us closer to first place. Under lights the engine scream. This is more than just a dream. Through the asphalt like a beam. Racers' hearts with fervor gleam. In this game we find our might. Push the pedal like the night. With each lap our spirits flight. Racing on with all our might. Of our might. Thrill the place. Thrill the place. Thrill the place. Vehicles on the track, roaring engines never slack. Racing on, no looking back. On the hunt for victory's knack. Trucks flying through the night. NASCAR dreams within our sight. Asphalt heroes in the fight. Peacemakers gaming light so bright. Rev it up, feel the pace. Speed hounds in the race. Feel the thrill, feel the chase. Victory is our holy place. Throttle down, no time to waste. In this high octane haste. Every corner, every taste leads us closer to first place. Under lights the engine scream.